Welcome back to my channel Tech Rivet for exclusive insights into the future of tech. This is the deep dive you've been waiting for. A comprehensive look into the leaks, the engineering challenges, and the sheer power of what is being called the most radical update in the history of the mini-series. To truly understand why the 2026 model is such a seismic shift, we have to look back at the legendary iPad Mini 5. Released years ago, the iPad Mini 5 was the gold standard for mini. It brought the A12 Bionic chip and Apple Pencil support to that classic design, proving that people craved high-end performance in a small footprint. For a long time, the iPad Mini 5 was the reliable workhorse that refused to die, but as we move into 2026, the gap between that classic era and the future has become a canyon. When we look at the trajectory of the iPad Mini, we see a device that has often been trapped in a cycle of too little, too late, but 2026 feels different because the competition has finally forced Apple's hand. Even those still clutching their iPad Mini 5 for its nostalgic home button and headphone jack are starting to realize that the digital world is moving faster than that hardware can keep up with. The heartbeat of this new 2026 model is rumored to be the A18 Pro chip, a silicon powerhouse built on a cutting-edge 3nm process that isn't just about speed. It's about the future of intelligence. We are talking about a neural engine capable of handling complex on-device AI tasks that were previously reserved for the MacBook Pro or the iPad Pro. This means that for the first time, your pocket-sized iPad will be a legitimate workstation for AI-driven photo editing, real-time language translation, and generative content creation without needing to ping a server. But power is nothing without a canvas to display it on. And the most compelling reason anyone, especially those still using an iPad Mini 5, will have to upgrade this year is the rumored transition to OLED technology. For years, iPad Mini users have complained about jelly scrolling and the limitations of LCD, but the 2026 OLED upgrade changes the entire value proposition. Imagine the deepest blacks, the most vibrant high dynamic range colors, and a contrast ratio that makes every movie, every game, and every design project look like it's painted with light. While the iPad Mini 5 served its purpose beautifully with its Retina display, it cannot compete with the sheer brilliance of an OLED panel that offers true-to-life color accuracy. Some leakers are even whispering about the inclusion of promotion, finally bringing that buttery smooth 120Hz refresh rate to the 8.3-inch form factor. If this happens, the 2026 iPad Mini becomes the ultimate handheld gaming machine, a device that fits in one hand but performs with the fluidity of a high-end desktop monitor. The engineering required to fit this level of display technology into such a thin chassis is mind-boggling, and it explains why Apple has taken so long to refresh this specific model. They weren't just waiting. They were perfecting the thermal management and power draw to ensure that a smaller battery could still power a pro-grade screen for a full day of use. Design-wise, the 2026 model is expected to refine the all-screen aesthetic, making the older iPad Mini 5 design look like a relic from a different century. The new model will likely feature even thinner bezels and a lighter, more durable titanium-infused aluminum frame. This isn't just about looking pretty. It's about the ergonomics of a device that is meant to be carried everywhere. Whether you're a pilot using it for navigation, a medical professional carrying it in a lab coat, or a digital nomad editing video on a flight, every millimeter and every gram matters. We are also hearing rumors of a relocated front-facing camera, moving to the landscape edge to better accommodate the way people actually use these devices for video calls and multitasking. This small change reflects a broader shift in Apple's philosophy. They no longer see the Mini as just a portrait mode e-reader, but as a miniature computer that needs to be functional in every orientation. Connectivity is another area where the 2026 iPad Mini is set to dominate, leaving the aging Wi-Fi and LTE specs of the iPad Mini 5 in the dust. With the integration of Apple's first-party C1 modem and Wi-Fi 7 support, the speeds we are expecting are nothing short of revolutionary. We are moving toward a world where loading is a concept of the past. Whether you're downloading a 4K video file in seconds or streaming high-fidelity games from the cloud, The 2026 Mini is being positioned as the ultimate portal to the internet. And let's talk about the Apple Pencil. There are strong indications that this new Mini will support a specialized version of the Apple Pencil Pro, featuring haptic feedback and barrel roll capabilities, turning this tiny tablet into the most portable high-end sketchpad in existence. For artists who started their journey on the iPad Mini 5, the combination of an OLED screen and a pro-level stylus in a footprint this small is the holy grail of tech. As we look at the pricing and availability, the stakes couldn't be higher. While some fear a price hike due to the expensive OLED components, the strategic value of the Mini is its accessibility compared to the Pro models. Apple knows that to capture the 2026 market, they need to balance premium features with a price point that remains tempting for students, creators, and professionals alike. The 2026 iPad Mini is not just a hardware update. It is a statement of intent. It is Apple saying that the best things really do come in small packages, and that the future of computing isn't just about how big your screen is, but how much power you can fit into the palm of your hand. If you have been waiting, holding on to an older model like the iPad Mini 5, or hesitating to jump into the iPad ecosystem, the 2026 Mini is the reason to finally pull the trigger. It is the culmination of years of feedback, engineering breakthroughs, and a vision for a device that is truly all-screen, all-power, and all-mini. The era of the compromised small tablet is over. The era of the pocket-sized powerhouse has officially begun. Stay tuned as we continue to track every leak and every prototype, because if even half of these rumors are true, the 2026 iPad Mini won't just be the best tablet of the year. It will be the most iconic device of the decade.